Hello, my viewers, and welcome to a very interesting discussion on the cancellation of the White House iftar dinner hosted by the Biden administration during Ramadan. Now, in this video, we take a look into the circumstances surrounding the cancellation, which occurred after numerous Muslims declined the invitation. Yes, they did. Now, the absence of Muslim guests at the iftar dinner reflects broader concerns and protests related to the ongoing situation in Palestine. Instead, the event was attended solely by individuals working within the Biden administration, raising questions about the administration's outreach efforts and the impact of current geopolitical tensions on diplomatic engagements. So join me as we explore the implications of this decision and the larger context of Muslim solidarity and activism in response to global events. Check out these videos. I will be right back.
No one who was invited showed up. So Biden and his entire administration held an iftar for Ramadan for the Muslim community at the White House, and they invited a bunch of people to partake so they could feed them during Ramadan. Initially, they were saying no one showed up, but then this story came out, which is just chef's kiss. So basically, several Muslim figures walk out of White House iftar in protest of Biden's complicity in Gaza genocide. One guest, a doctor who has recently come back from Gaza, gave the U.S. president a letter written by a displaced Palestinian child in Rafah who lost his entire family. He then left in disgust, stating that he could not attend it while people in Gaza were being unalived. As you know, it's Ramadan, and it's the holy month in which Muslims fast from food, water, everything. And at night, they break their fast. So the White House was like, let's do this kind of like performance bullshit where we invite a bunch of them, even though we know they're all mad at us. And let's break bread together. Well, that didn't work because no one showed up. And the people that did show up just basically gave Biden a letter and walked out in front of his face. And it was to the point where they had to cancel the entire iftar and just had it all by themselves in the White House, alone, with no one there. This is a literal definition of F around and find out. And I'm not even going to say the Arab community or the Muslim community. I'm going to say this. The American people are sick of the way our politics are being handled. I guess the only good thing that came out of this was Joe probably got to go to bed early. You know, no staying up past his bedtime. Yay!
Woo. After 40,000 Palestinians taken, Biden, you aided in that. And you expect Muslims to be lined up out your door for this iftar dinner. Biden, really? I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know. Maybe you should have invited DJ Khaled. He would have showed up.
Forehead, I love you. Okay, this is entirely too good and it might be fake news, but I think it's real. I'm back. I have Googled it. It is real. The Biden administration tried to host an iftar dinner tonight and they had to cancel it because not a single Muslim showed up. The only people in attendance were people who worked for the Biden administration. There was not a single person invited who showed up. This is the most beautiful collective fuck you from the entire Muslim community that I could even imagine. Not a single person said, oh yeah, I'll come to the White House. Oh yeah, I mean, they've got good cooks, I guess. Like, it's a free dinner. I mean, like, you know, we could use the opportunity to like social climb and just make some, you know, network and make some, no! Fuck you. They said, fuck you! Anyway, I just want you to know that if you were one of the invitees to this event that ghosted the White House, that was a kiss on your little forehead. I love you.
Breaking. The Ramadan iftar hosted by Biden at the White House canceled because no Muslims accepted the invitation. You know, It looked like, little kids, they had like a birthday party, and you have a party and none of your friends show. Dog, why you think anybody was gonna come? Dog. Dog, you really thought people was finna come? Hey, man, oh, I'm sorry, bro.
The White House tried hosting an iftar by inviting a bunch of Muslim community members, and it was canceled. I wonder why it was canceled. I wonder why so many Muslim Americans would not want to go to an iftar hosted by the White House. One of the protesters to the event was Dr. Thayer Ahmad, who was a doctor who was volunteering at Al Nasser Hospital. He decided to actually go to the event, show up, speak his mind, and then leave, as with so many others who protested. The deputy director on the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, said that the American Muslim community said very on that it would be completely unacceptable for us to break bread with the very same White House that is enabling the is not real government to starve and slaughter the Palestinian people. The director of development at the American Muslims for Palestine said these photo ops that they're doing, these discussions that they're doing to somehow show that they still have Muslim community support, are just pathetic attempts to make themselves look good at a time where their true colors have been seen. So true. One of the key issues that was brought up during this debacle was that the administration has been handpicking who to meet with, and they decline certain individuals who community members say they should meet with. CEO of a Muslim political advocacy group said, "In this moment of tremendous pain and suffering, we have asked the White House to postpone this gathering and to convene a proper policy meeting with representatives of the community's choosing rather than those selected by the White House." Heba Qassem, a Palestinian American political strategist, echoed that concern and said the administration is strategically selecting who should be at the table, and they're picking people who likely won't be critical of their actions and policies. Meanwhile, the White House is still sending tons of weapons to Is Not Real.
Now, the cancellation of the White House iftar dinner under the Biden administration offers insight into the administration's expectations, the context of the Palestinian situation, and Biden's response to the absence of Muslim attendees. Initially, it appears that Biden administration anticipated robust attendance from Muslim guests at the iftar dinner, in line with past traditions of presidential outreach during Ramadan. However, the cancellation of the event due to the lack of Muslim attendance underscores the deep-seated concerns and protests within the Muslim community regarding the ongoing crisis in Palestine. The situation in Palestine, marked by escalating violence, displacement, and human rights violations, has galvanized Muslims worldwide in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Many Muslims have chosen to boycott events hosted by governments or entities perceived as complicit in or indifferent to the plight of Palestinians. The decision to decline the invitation to the White House iftar dinner reflects a broader commitment to principles of justice, human rights, and solidarity with oppressed communities. Now, in response to the absence of Muslim attendees, the Biden administration faces the challenge of addressing the concerns and grievances of the Muslim community while navigating complex geopolitical realities. President Biden has expressed support for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and has emphasized the importance of dialogue and diplomacy in resolving the crisis. However, his administration's policies and actions have faced criticism from some quarters for not being sufficiently proactive in addressing human rights abuses and advocating for Palestinian rights. Moving forward, Biden's response to the cancellation of the iftar dinner may serve as an opportunity for reflection and recalibration of his administration's approach to engaging with the Muslim community and addressing issues of concern, including the situation in Palestine, by listening to the voices of the Muslim community, acknowledging their grievances, and demonstrating a commitment to justice and human rights. The Biden administration can work towards rebuilding trust and fostering meaningful dialogue and collaboration. That's if they can, with what has been going on. Now, in a big embarrassment for the White House, President Joe Biden's iftar dinner invite invite was turned down by many Muslim community leaders, according to an NY Times report. Many of the invitees reportedly unhappy with President Biden's support for Israel's actions in Gaza opted not to attend the iftar meal on Tuesday evening. Now, the report claims they cited concerns over the ongoing siege affecting Palestinians. A Palestinian-American doctor who was in Gaza in January told the media outlet, "How can we talk to you about famine and starvation over bread and steak?" Now, recognizing the controversy surrounding the Ramadan event, the White House cancelled the annual iftar extravaganza and organized a smaller meal for staff and a separate meeting with Muslim community leaders. The meeting, which lasted over an hour, was attended by President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, National Security Advisor, and other senior officials. Now, during the meeting, attendees discussed their experiences in Gaza, with one doctor showing photos of children from the region. Both President Biden and Vice President Harris expressed their desire to end the war as soon as possible. And when questioned about calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, President Biden expressed concerns that Israel would resist due to stage concerns. Now, after speaking for about 6 minutes, Dr. Ahmad claims he left the meeting stating, "Out of respect for my community and for the many people who are grieving and in pain, I have to walk out of this meeting." President Biden indicated he understood Dr. Ahmad's feelings, the report stated. Now, this event contrasted sharply with last year's White House celebration marking the end of Ramadan, which was a festive occasion with hundreds of attendees. In recent months, the Biden administration has held several meetings with Muslim leaders to address widespread discontent over the Gaza conflict. The president's stance has upset key groups in his base, including young people, black voters, and progressives. White House Press Secretary Karine acknowledged the sensitivity of Tuesday's night's meeting, describing it as a deeply painful moment for many in the Arab and Muslim communities. Now, she stated that President Biden remains committed to securing an immediate ceasefire and increasing humanitarian aid to Gaza. This situation highlights the challenges President Biden faces over his stance on the Gaza conflict in the upcoming events. He's losing support of his majority vote bank that constitutes Muslims and black community. After months of support, he is now condemning Israel's offensive in Gaza. Despite that, he has not acceded to demands within his party to impose conditions on arms sales to Israel. We have finally come to the end of the video. What do you have to say? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.